Hey friends, Nettie here. Welcome on in to Transcending Love. Hey, what you doing? Where you been? How you been doing? How your family doing? Mama and them, cousin them, all them. How they all doing? Hopefully everyone is great. I'm having a little bit of time adjusting this camera situation for whatever reason today. I don't know how it be set up, even though, well, I moved it a little bit, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm having a great day. If I didn't say that, it's been an interesting day for sure. Um, yeah, I needed a nap after work today. That don't happen a whole lot. And it wasn't like a regular nap. It's one of them naps where you sleep hard and you almost don't know what day it is when you wake up. You don't really know what time it is. You don't know if you see the time. You don't know if it's in the morning or if it's in the PM. Those kind. I slept like that in my nap. And for real, like the only reason I knew what time of day it was first because my alarm clock went off and it was the market close alarm that I have set. And the market closes at 3 p.m. where I am. So that's how I knew. But if it wasn't for that alarm, I probably would have woke up and not known where I was at, who I was, or nothing. Because that sleep was kind of hard. Anyway, some days it's just that way. It is just that way. You be tired, you got to get that rest, and your body will take rest. It is so important to make sure that you're resting. I don't think that I stayed up any later than usual last night, but energetically, I know that sometimes you can't account for all of the energy expenditure that is taking place. Sometimes you are processing a lot of information. Like whenever you are receiving a lot of messages on the day and you do a lot of processing that actually has the ability to make you feel a bit more tired, you are using you're using a lot of your brain power to process that information sometimes. And it's not always that way, but just at times it depends. You never know exactly how that's gonna go, but you just give your body what it's asking for, and you're good to go. You're good to go. And you still lend yourself to those messages. And sometimes I don't even want to say that it's always just the processing of it. I think it's that along with some of the other things that go on outside of the processing. And for example, I started my day off. Some days you just get in that flow state, you just be in your zone and just locked in, right? And you could be processing messages from spirit or getting a lot of downloads in that way, or you could just be locked in. Some days you just get locked in on some things that need to be taken care of, and that takes a lot out of you as well. So if you combine the two things and you end up doing both things, and that's double the expenditure utilized energetically. So you just gotta account for what's taking place in your life, and you can often trace back to why you probably feel more tired some days. But yeah, so this morning started off, I was really locked in. It started off with downloads, and then I was taking care of some things that I needed to take care of that took up a lot of energy as well. Then I ended up needing to go to a work training, and that's sitting in a class. And if you ever been to a work training class, you know that's a lot of energy. Even though sometimes you're not really doing a whole lot, it's a lot of energy expended. Just probably trying to stay awake, but sometimes. But yeah, it's a lot that went into the day, and it's funny to recap that because it helps me to see even in the moment where all of my energy was today. And even last night though, I do recall sometimes, and more often than not, I'll say more often than not, I lay down with enough time to visualize and manifest things, and that's intentionally. Other times I'll be dog tired and just fall asleep. That don't happen a whole lot. Because I try to be really intentional about that time before bed, but some days you just ain't no getting around it. You just done. And it's time to go on and go night night, and your body be like, let's go. You hit the pillow and it's done. Yeah, so that's that. That's a completely different start than I thought that I was gonna have, because the message that I thought I was starting with was completely different. But Spirit wants to talk about energy and energy expenditure to start with, apparently, since that's where we went, and not being discouraged in your way, and the significance of making sure you have things in place to combat this old man. And this old man is the old version of you that so wants to pop up at every chance it gets. No matter how much you grow, that old man, that humanness wants to be there. It will try to take more space than it needs to. So, what that often looks like is thoughts coming in. I think I hear a lot of people call them intrusive thoughts at this point. And I think that is a great way to categorize and frame it, because they are intrusive. They aren't the thoughts that you have been building around as of late. And probably even for a long time for many of you. You've been conscious and consistent and intentional about using language with yourself, having conversations internally that are more positive than not, right? But it really just goes to show that there's always more work to do. Like, and we have to consistently do the work. Not every day is the same, and not every day is as encouraging as some of the others. Believe it or not, if you do not encourage yourself on a daily basis and in multiple times throughout the day, that old man pop up on you, pop out, okay, and be ready. And that is how you sometimes get to a place of like something happens in the day, and then you react instead of pausing to respond. And you be like, I ain't did that in a long time. That's crazy. I can't even believe I responded or reacted that way. It'd be that because it caught you off guard. Then we want to make sure that we caught off guard a whole lot less, but sometimes it just happens. But in that internal voice will start to, there are multiple internal voices, not because you not in a multiple personality disorder kind of way as they would label it, but it could very well seem like that at times. But being able to decipher between the voices is crucial. And it's actually very apparent which voices speak in some of the times, especially when it comes to self-talk, because the better version, or I don't want to say the better version, the highest version of yourself speaks to you in ways that are more encouraging to you. That is that God voice. That old version of you is the version of you that is trying to repeat some of the old things from the past, right? So if you were having a lot of like negative talk internally before, some of those things will come back up, and they'll show up in different ways in your life, even though that's not your primary space of functioning lately. They will keep coming back, but you still have to fight them. You still have to combat them with positivity. You still have to combat them with positive conversation, positive self talk. You got to be intentional about it. You cannot just let those things linger because they take over. And before long, you begin to wonder, how in the hell did I end up over here? I've been working so hard to stay positive, and now I'm complaining for the whole day. That's crazy. Now, that is one day, right? You got another opportunity as soon as you realize that you're doing it, to correct it. But sometimes if you haven't been intentional, if you haven't taken the time, you just get caught off guard, and you be on a complaint train. And sometimes it'll take you a little bit longer to notice. Listen, the largest part of us is spirit, but we still have a human component. Now, we don't make an excuse for it. We don't make an excuse to stay over there and not do the work. But there's a very real realization of just how this actually works. It's grace in knowing that, but success in not staying there. As soon as you realize it, you begin to try to work your way away from it. And the longer you stay on that side, the more difficult it becomes to talk your way away and down and off of whatever pessimistic stance you begin to take on account of that flesh, that human side. But anyway, so when you're where your dreams are concerned in accomplishing things, this is really everyday life, but Spirit was speaking more so directly toward career goals and things that you are wanting to do in your life. You have to know that there's repetition that is necessary. You will be saying some of the same things over and over and over if you are working in a specific area. You know, whatever you do in whatever area, just the same with musicians. If you'll consider, musicians make a lot of music, right? But they also tour and perform the music live. Do you know how many times in repetition they have to perform those same songs? You probably can't imagine that it would be this way because so many songs have gotten so popular, but sometimes those people get tired of hearing those songs, and they be like, in their mind, their negative voice might say, people are tired of hearing this song. But people really don't necessarily be tired of hearing that song. They be tired of hearing the song, perhaps. So they feel like other people are, but other people don't necessarily feel that way. And some may. But the fact of the matter is that this is where they're having success. So, regardless as to what that voice says, you got to keep going. You got to keep pressing through it, because that is where you're finding success. And this negative self talk, if you allow it to, becomes self sabotage, because that's the old version. Again, just reminding you of things from the past, going from the old mindset. But the new mindset is that I'm gonna be successful and I'm gonna keep on going and doing the thing that I am loving in this time to do. So don't allow that voice to talk you down and away from what it is that you're doing. Consistently do this thing, especially if you know that it's something that is actually working for you. Sometimes you can't really tell from the start. Just keep going. There are signs though, but you got to be able to see those signs. You got to be looking intentionally at those things as they present themselves. Because Spirit always gives you gems and nuggets along the way to let you know you're on track and that you're doing great. But sometimes we can't, that voice causes us not to be able to see through to those things, at least not readily. Sometimes we can recount it later, but everything is a win in the direction that you want to go. Everything you do in the direction that you want to go is a win. It's, you can't always see it, right? It don't always feel like it, don't always look like it. Everything that you do in the direction of where you were trying to go, where growth is concerned and success is concerned, is a win. You, even if it seems like a loss, it's never a loss because there's always a lesson to be learned. And you learn great lessons from things that aren't going as well as one might originally perceive them to be. Nothing is happening to you, everything is happening for you, is the thing that you always have to bear in mind. People are going to judge whatever it is that you do. There is not a soul on this earth that everyone loves. Every single person loves them. No, that's just not the setup. You can't be for everybody. And so, and nor should you expect to be. So be okay with that and just go on and do the thing that you supposed to do, that you enjoy doing. Don't allow that voice to talk you into not liking the thing that is effective. Be consistent. Stay consistent at it. Keep doing it. It's about, that is the repetitious part. Yeah, you saying the same thing in a bunch of in a bunch of different ways. That is the joy and luxury of this language. You just do that. Some people will hear it when you say it one way as opposed to another way. But all of the people that are supposed to hear you in whatever way that you're supposed to say it or do it or present it will. So keep on doing that. Don't get discouraged on the way. Don't get weary in well doing is a popular text to consider here. But this is that. You're doing well. No sense in getting tired of the thing that is effective. Don't let that voice wear you down. Just override it with positivity and getting to know yourself more so that you can. I say getting to know yourself more, but that's along the line. This time it's in reference to what does it take to encourage you away from a spot? Like you got to get to know yourself well enough to know what it takes to move you. If it's words of affirmation, if it's music, if it's going outside, if it's grounding, if it's going to ride your bike, if it's going to skate, if it's going to do something that's more enjoyable that doesn't present as an escape, as far as um, not actually facing it, that's completely different. Don't go smoke. Spirit. I want y'all to know my spirit guys are hilarious. I heard, and I can't listen. I'm gonna just say it. Don't go smoke no crack to get away from it. My hope, and I think it was more so just a joke, just because they always cracking jokes. My hope is that that your resolve and escape is not crack. I'm giggling, but for in real life, don't let that be, because I people have all measure of things that they do, but that ain't we don't want to do. We're not engaging in escapism in the way that would cause you to be disillusioned or pull you away from the actual realness of a thing. We're talking about something that transforms your mindset around it in fresh air and doing something that's more enjoyable in that way, that it's not going to be damaging to you overall, is the key. Um, yeah, don't hurt your body in the process. And don't hurt your mind in the process of facing this thing. But face it. And sometimes facing it is doing something that's a bit more enjoyable, that brings you joy and fulfillment and excitement and adds color to whatever the gloomy situation was. Seeing it from a different perspective will be helpful in moving you. But you got to find out for yourself what that is and do that thing. Don't be discouraged by the repetition that goes into this. You'll get used to it the more you do it, understanding that this is just a part of the process. But just keep going, keep on going. Don't give up. You never know how close you are to the breakthrough. And even when you get some measure of success, more success, greater success, you'll still be repeating, because if you are in a specific niche, then you'll be doing that same thing. It's the one thing over and over, over and over, in different ways, but over and over. Anyway, that's the message. I leave you this message in love and in lights. Love on you, love somebody else, and that's it. That's all I got. Until next time, holla.